All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Keyboard Warriors. My name's Eddie Law. That's our Kirby. It's just Rebecca. And back from Combate Americas, we have a friend here, Mike. Mike, you're in Connecticut right now. We were talking just about the tornado a second ago because Fred's in Dayton and he got hit with a couple of them. And you said you saw some crazy weather up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I saw it on it was on Twitter. It was the news. They showed this tree that was like uprooted next to this house, and you saw the winds blowing in circular motion. And I had never seen a video like that. Just the way that was shot. I mean, if I was the person holding the camera, I mean, I would have run for the basement. It's like the people these days, like they'll go out of their way to, they'll go to any length to film, something just for shock value or just to be first to have it on camera. It's like the person could have died. I
Yeah,
would have run for the basement.
it's like, was it worth it, dude? You gotta ask them. It's like they gotta ask themselves, like, was it worth it? Is it, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jesse, go ahead.
Oh no, so Combate Americas has been doing a lot of moves, and we've been trying to get Mike here so we can talk a little bit about all the news that's been going on. I mean, let's start from the top here. One of the big signings you guys did recently was Tito Ortiz,
Hmm.
not too long ago. You also got a Lucha Underground ex Luchador, Dulce Rivas, who
Hmm.
actually already had her debut and she won her debut. You also had, I think he was a Jiu-Jitsu Daniel, or no, Daniel Perez, who also won his debut. Um, so all these moves that you guys are doing, especially with the Tito Ortiz, is this kind of like teasing to where what you might be doing later on in the year of getting, signing some of these bigger guys and maybe doing something with some of the heavier weights, since Combate is
Um,
kind of focused on the smaller guys?
yeah, it's really as certain names become available if they're meaningful to our target audience and the audience that's watching our programming on Univision. And it's all about growing the product, growing the ratings, and so if names become available that can contribute to that, then we're all for it, and we're going to go after them as they become available. So, like speaking of Dulce, is like what's crazy is she fought on TV on Univision and Univision Deportes, and but she fought in the I think it was like 1 a.m. Eastern time when she fought because our show starts at midnight Eastern and 9 Pacific, but we saw an up and actually like when in TV ratings go down, all ratings go down after 1 a.m. So from midnight to 1 a.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific. That's our time to showcase the fights that we think are can have an impact in terms of driving ratings. But we put because it was a pro debut. We figured that it probably was not the best idea to put her in the first TV slot. So we put her, but at the same time, we wanted to make her fight available on TV. So we put her in the 1 a.m. time slot. And what we saw with her is the ratings actually went up. Now, there's nothing that, we can't say for certain that it was because of her, but there is nothing else that points to, that would have led to ratings actually going up at 1 a.m. So, it's if it was in fact her that drove those ratings up, then then we're in the right direction with certain fighters like her. But for the ratings to go up, anyone that's like in the TV business, for the ratings to go up at 1 a.m., that's just if you think about it logically, that's crazy. I mean, that's when people are shutting TVs off. So I think that we're on the right track with her. Signing Tito was huge. He's a guy that I've wanted to be in business with for a long time. At Strikeforce we were close, but we didn't get him. We wound up losing him back to the UFC. I think it was in 2009 or 10. I forgot which year. But finally after all these years, I have a chance to be in business with him. So that was a really good feeling to be able to win his contract. And so we're going to keep pursuing names as they become available. Danny Barres was a great, that was a great signing for us. I think he had a big knockout in Mexico. Actually, when he came in from Spain. So looking forward to seeing what he's able to do. When he fights for us for the second time later this year. So all in all, I think we're doing pretty well with talent. There's a few other fighters out. Oh, and we signed Kenya Enriquez, the two-time world boxing champion, WBC interim champion right now. She just won her boxing fight. So we're gonna see her debut probably around October, November. So that's exciting too. It's always interesting to see how a boxer is able to cross over to into MMA.
Yeah, and you guys already have another boxer under your stable with Amanda Serrano.
Hmm.
So you guys are doing those great moves with these women fighters that um, at, like what we know from like Amanda Serrano and a lot of the other women boxers. Like there's not a lot of options for them in boxing, you know, money wise or even fight. It's good you guys are doing this. The other thing that was really interesting is that you guys ended up signing or acquiring Kate Del Castillo as a partner or partial partner for the business. So how has that impacted your guys' strategy moving forward?
Oh, big. Her coming in as an investor in Combate is big because I think with her, it's about becoming more advertiser friendly, for those companies that are maybe, on the fence or sort of, maybe, shying away from MMA because it's a combat sport. But she allows us to pull in a sort of a different audience and make us more friendly to prospective new advertisers that we're pitching or thinking of pitching. Given her deep background and a high profile in Hollywood, she's going to be in the movie Bad Boys 3 actually, which is coming out I think in the fall. And her series, on Telemundo is killing it. I think the premiere did some crazy number. I forgot exactly what it was, but it killed it in the ratings. It beat its general market competitors like CBS and Fox. So having her on board is great, and looking forward to seeing what else we might be able to do with her in terms of special projects.
Yeah, one of the events you guys just did recently was the Reinas de Combate, right? It was basically an all women main event for you guys where you had some of your best stars on display. You had Super Melly, who is always impressive, and I always recommend people to watch her fights because she's just awesome. Then you had Kira Batara on there. You also had uh, Firefox, Paulina
Yeah,
Granados,
Paulina. Yeah, yeah.
who has there's still for me there's still that matchup that I'm waiting for you guys to hopefully give us one of these days of Kira and Paulina, seeing as how they got a little bit of bad blood. But uh, how successful was that event for you guys? And moving forward, do you guys see yourselves doing a lot more of those events, kind of like you know centered on the women?
I don't know. We'll see. It was very successful from a TV standpoint. It was our second highest rated show on Univision to date. So it's possible. I think we're deepening our roster of women fighters, so anything is possible. It really just depends on you guys cut out. It's a little tough to hear you.
Oh no, I was just listening. I think everybody else is muted because they don't want to make noise. You were saying?
Oh no, I heard you say something about Paulina again. That's why. It sounded like it was cutting out. But yeah, it's like from a TV standpoint, it was super successful. Second highest rated show since we've been on Univision. So we had some really good fights. It's possible we can, maybe, do another card like that, but nothing's certain. Nothing is certain yet. Haven't locked in another one. Whether we do it or not really depends on, you know, what markets we're looking at, and you know it really needs to make sense, for the audience locally as well as on television too. So it really just depends on the fights that we can put together. So we'll revisit it, that's for sure. But I don't know if we'll do it again or not.
Right. And one of the other things is you guys had an event in Mexico not too long ago, and your title that you had given Jose all day that he had won, he actually lost it to Gustavo Lopez.
Mhm.
So, is there a possibility of a rematch down the line? Do you guys have something, kind of more in store for Gustavo, as getting him to build up kind of like a little bit of clout, a little bit of getting him a little bit more popular before you guys revisit that rematch.
Well, that was a rematch actually, to the first fight. But the way it ended, with the knockout in the second fight, we feel like Jose needs at least one fight in between. If they're gonna fight again. So with that said, Gustavo's gonna defend his title in July, in his hometown of Yakima. So that we're we'll see how he does. We're excited to have him back, and so far he's been a great champion. So it's always possible that the two will fight a rubber match down the line.
Eddie, any
Yeah.
questions?
Actually, no. I was wondering what the thought process behind, not thought process. Like, I'm assuming you guys have already have plans for Tito, like moving forward. Um,
Hmm.
Obviously it's a huge signing, right? A huge name, legend in the sport. It's gonna be great to put him out there and take him, send him out to combate,
Is he
events and all that.
is
But he's gonna
is he
is he
fighting? Is he
is he
fighting?
fighting? Yeah, is he fighting?
Is he fighting? Oh, he's going to fight. We haven't confirmed his first opponent. So we'll be doing that probably within the next 6 to 8 weeks. But we're looking at there's a lot of all of a sudden there's a lot of heavyweight talent. I just was pitched another heavyweight today. I think an Olympic heavyweight wrestler from Cuba, who's got pretty impressive record. And they're sort of like coming out of the woodworks now. It's in the within our target. In the Hispanic world, there's not an abundance of heavyweights, but there are, a strong handful, I'd say. That so we're narrowing it down on the possibilities, and I'm gonna see him next week when we're in Tucson because he's not just signed us as a fighter. We didn't formally announce it, but he's a brand ambassador for
Mhm.
Combate. So he's going to be instrumental in reaching a certain part of our target demo that it is maybe that we're not or we hadn't been speaking to regularly. The in the Spanish speaking world, we're super strong, but you know, um, in the English speaking world, you need a name to really, to shine in the general market. There's a lot of fights. There's a lot of MMA out there. There's a lot of all combat sports right now. But with a guy like Tito, you can really make an impact. He raises your visibility. So Tito is, he's in the general market. He's huge. He's a legend. So he's going to be serving as a brand ambassador for Combate until he goes, into training camp. And he still essentially is one while he's in training camp. But um, right now, he's going to be, acting as a brand ambassador. So I think next week if you watch the show, you'll see Punishment Athletics on our mat. It's part of what he's doing with us. So he's fully integrated into our program and our brand.
Okay, two things quickly. Let me jump in, Eddie. A,
Mhm.
does that mean he'll be fighting at heavyweight and not light heavyweight?
It's again, it's still we're narrowing it down. He can make 205,
Okay.
so it could be light heavyweight. But there's always the thought that he might be fight as a smaller heavyweight,
Okay,
right?
and
Because
forget
he can. Yeah, go ahead.
and forgive me, I don't know much about Combate's like light
Hmm.
heavyweight or heavyweight
Hmm.
division. Do you guys have a
Hmm.
heavyweight champion?
No, we do not. So that's that speaks to what I was saying before. Is there hasn't really our sweet spot to date has been in the men's divisions between 125 and 170. It kind of thins out from around after 170, and we haven't actually had formal divisions. We've done fights. We've done heavyweight fights. We just did a heavyweight fight on our last card in
Mhm.
Stockton. That was actually the fight of the night. It was really fun. I don't know if you got to see it, but It was between a fighter from the U.S. and a fighter from Mexico, but it was actually the Mexican fighter. I think he trains with AKA, but it was a real good fight. But generally speaking, we haven't had those divisions. We haven't maintained any division between 185 and heavyweight. Now we've all of a sudden you know with Tito and some of these other fighters popping up, the opportunity has come around to sort of launch either light heavyweight division, and just and to have to put on at least some fun fights. Whether or not we're going to be able to crown a champion really remains to be seen as far as how the fighters, the heavyweight fighters that we've been fighting progress, and what new fighters become available. So, it doesn't make sense right at this point to crown a champion because, just for the sake of crowning a champion. We have champions a champion in the bantamweight division. That's Gustavo. We're going to be crowning a featherweight champion on June 28th when Andres Quintana, our Copa Combate winner, fights in a rematch against Bruno Canetti, Ninja Canetti's brother. So we're definitely we're putting we are in the midst of crowning champions, but at heavyweight, light heavyweight, I don't really think we're there yet.
Okay. One last thing for me. Is the Tito fight a one fight deal? Will he fight multiple times, or is it just one thing? Oh, he will fight multiple times.
Yes. Yeah. So
can you say like what the contract was? How many fights y'all got him for?
It's multiple fights.
Fair enough.
You can't go. Yeah, it's multiple fights.
Okay, that works.
But again, he's also he's also working for us as a brand ambassador too. So not just fighting. That's something that was, I think, not understood. Like, the night we essentially announced it with the contract signing in public, it wasn't communicated, that he is our brand ambassador. But you'll hear more of that, as he becomes more visible at Combate events and in between events.
Mike, is the biggest question that you guys probably have to front all the time since you signed Tito is he the opponent that you guys are looking for Alberto Del Rio, seeing as how Alberto, I think last year said that he wanted to do a fight in combates, and you guys said you guys were, or at least Campbell said that he was looking for the right guy. So is that that question you guys field the most ever since you signed Tito?
I'm sorry, what was the question? You were cutting out.
Oh, is Tito being the opponent for Alberto Del Rio? Is that the biggest question you have to front ever since you signed Tito?
Yeah, people are, people have been asking that. I don't know if that, that's like, we have to see where Alberto's at, in terms of, his readiness, and I don't know, it really remains to be seen. There's a lot of work to be done. And it's just really that's just one option. I mean, there's like I said, there's other fighters out there that we've been courting, and that maybe we haven't signed, that you haven't seen fight, that are possibilities. So there's a lot of things to be worked out before we confirm his first opponent. And there's a lot of possibilities out there right now, I can say, or I should say a handful of strong possibilities as far as who his first opponent will be. But it will be, I'd say, but he will fight this fall.
And last question before I toss it to Teddy. Are you guys looking maybe to bring him back to his old stomping grounds of Huntington Beach and doing something there?
Well, he's there now. I mean, he's training. In fact, that's where where I met him with Camo when we first sat down with him. But if you're asking if we're going to do a fight there, we do fights in Southern Cal. The Reynos event was in LA, so I'll definitely consider it for sure.
Eddie?
Yeah, and so again, this was I think this Friday from Peru. We got the main event, Daniel Hoover from Mexico against Gianfranco Cortez from Peru. Cortez undefeated 4-0. I mean, you got two undefeated fighters. Both guys look like they just want to stand with each other. I think Zell Hoover has a bit of experience or actually quite a bit of experience in jiu-jitsu. But what's your thought on this fight coming up? Headlining your event in Peru.
I don't know too much about John Franco. Eduardo Vargas, our VP of Fight Operations, found him. Zell Hoover, we've seen him now. He, in Combate, he's really, exciting and very dynamic. I think one of our best Mexican fight prospects, which is why we brought him, to headline this first show in Peru. It had to be a real special main event. So with John Franco, he wasn't originally, supposed to be on main event. The main event was supposed to be a fighter named by the last name of Bedoya, who we originally announced, but he dropped out, and so this other main event with John Franco came together, and it's an authentic Peru versus Mexico fight, two undefeated fighters. I think it's going to be a really good fight from everything I've heard about John Franco from Eduardo and the tape I've seen. I think we got a really good co-main event between, there's a huge rivalry between Peru and Chile, the two countries. There's a heated rivalry between the two, and we've got Pablo Villaseca, who you've probably seen he's fought elsewhere in the U.S. He fought in our Copa, actually. Made it to the semis. He's gonna fight a fighter named who represented Peru in the Copa, Marlon Gonzalez, who's a very exciting fighter. He didn't really get to shine in the Copa. He fought Andres Quintana, the eventual winner, in the quarterfinals. So, he kind of had a tough first fight, but he's a very exciting fighter as well. So I can speak more to that matchup, the co-main. I think it's that's a really exciting fight that we have, and then. The featured women's bout is also another Mexico versus Peru fight. Alitza Mariscal from Mexico is going to be representing in that fight, and I think that's that should be a really good opening TV bout. So I think we've got a great a lineup for the fans in Peru. It's a 10-fight card. We got fighters from Peru, Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Brazil. It's a really good lineup.
Definitely, and looking at that Maria versus Litzel fight, Litzel's coming up from, I think it was like atom weight, and she's giving up a little bit of height, but she's undefeated, and she's a bad chick. Looking her up on YouTube, she's not an easy fight for anybody. And lower, lower in the card, you got two Peruvians fighting each other, Vicente Vargas and Yuri Valenzuela. I mean, just looking at the fighters, looking at the roster you guys have, looking at the card itself, there's plenty of experience everywhere. It's not like you're pucking these guys out of amateur promotions or anything. These guys have been around and fighting. So if people want to see really good fights, they need to tune into the Combate cards. And so again, this card on Friday night from Peru, it's Zell Hoover against Cortez, who's coming up on a little bit of a short notice. Definitely, he's in the spot to steal someone's shine for sure. But yeah.
For sure.
Anyway, hey Mike, appreciate it, man. Thank you for giving me time.
Thank you.
It's a little late over there.
Well, good. I appreciate you guys taking the time to chat. Thanks a lot, and look forward to speaking with you soon. Hopefully, see you in Tucson next week.
Hopefully, man. I'll definitely hit you up later now.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Later, bro. Have a good night, man.
You too. All right, bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mike. How do you say his last name? Ep.146?
I noticed you trying to just call him Mike and shit. I noticed that earlier. I'm like, just keep calling him Mike, motherfucker. I can tell you how to say that.
I'm good with names for the most part, right? I'm decent. Okay, I'm not good. I'm decent. It's Ep.146, right, Jesse?
Ep.146.
Ep.146. Okay, whatever. It's a little bit of a tune, right? Anyway, Mike Ep.146 from Combate Americas. Again, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're one of those douchebags that goes, fucking stand them up when they hit the ground. This is the promotion for you. No, they stand. The girls stand. Ain't no one trying to fucking lay down for anybody, all right? So definitely tune into that shit for sure. All right, now back to Fred. Because I did get asked on Instagram if you were okay. All right, someone actually hit us up on there like, hey, they thought that Dayton got tornadoes. And hey, is Fred okay? I'm like, Fred's actually, you can't put that man down. But
Listen,
we're gonna ask you about it anyway.
Let me tell y'all something, Jack. On Friday, we had a fucking Klan rally in the middle of Dayton. The goddamn KKK came to town, which was fucking absurd. A couple days later, goddamn good Lord himself tried to smite me and fucking missed 4 different times with 4 fucking tornadoes. But yet here I sit, goddamn it, smoking blunts and talking face punching with you pricks. You'll piss on the most of them. You know what I mean?
Dude, the fucking who went to Gary went to the Klan rally? Is that who it was that went there?
Yeah, well, shit, man. Everybody, like, this is the funny thing about the Klan rally. The Ku Klux Klan had a rally in Dayton, Ohio. 9 people showed up from their fucking Sacred Hearts chapter or whatever the fuck. Like 750 people came downtown to counter protest them. Listen, Jack, it was so bad. We had a new group of Amish people that I had never even heard of. They called them Migonites or some shit like that. They're Amish people that believe in electricity. There's no bullshit. They're Amish people that believe in electricity. The KKK was so hated that we had Amish people and the goddamn Dayton chapter of the Black Panther movement down there fucking singing church hymns.
Amazing.
It was brilliant.
Fred, you, all fun and games aside, Fred, I gotta shout out to you guys. I know you guys are doing your your business, and I saw that you guys are doing removals for people, you know, in the disaster area and stuff. You want to touch a little bit about that and what you guys are doing for your own community? You know, kind of shouting out to you guys, and you know, you guys are taking the lead and actually trying to do something for your own community.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, me and my brother just started a business, the Gym City Hippies Moving and Hauling Company. So obviously we have a big truck, and this is exactly what we do. So we're, you know, extremely equipped to help these people out. But it's not just us, dude. I tell you what, man, I'm 34 years old. I've been in Dayton my whole life. I'm a proud Daytonian. But I came up in the 90s. And in the 90s in Dayton, there was a bad crack epidemic, and this fucking city was gnarly. There was not much unity. It was a really fucking cheap, you know what I mean? Like little Detroit all the way. And between this Klan rally and these fucking tornadoes, this city has been incredible, man. I've been super, super proud of Dayton. Like everybody's been fucking stepping up. There's been fucking free food drives all over. We're helping out this one particular house. We went out there today. They had their whole fucking house torn apart. Literally, their garage was fucking gone, Jack. And I don't mean like a little bit was hanging. I don't know where it's at. We pulled up in the garage, was fucking gone. The whole thing. I mean, dude, it was legit tornadoes, man. It was pretty crazy shit. But the whole city, it's an odd thing, right? One man died, an 81-year-old man. So God rest his soul. But you know, all things fucking considered, he was on his way out. It's not like a bunch of fucking kids died. That was a pretty, you know, again, God rest his soul. But the best case scenario for like a tragedy like this. So in a weird way, it's been a good thing, man. Like it's showed everybody. Sometimes you need a tragedy to really embrace or appreciate what you got. You know what I mean? Like everybody in the city is kind of sitting around now like, all right, yo, we're all happy to just have clean water and not be fucking dead. Like it's really cool, man, to see everybody just kind of thankful. It was like right after 9/11. Where motherfuckers were just so thankful that's how Dayton is. It's like we in our own little 9/11 bubble right now, where everybody is just being super. Now, don't get me wrong, that shit will dissipate in a few weeks, and we'll be back to killing and stabbing each other. But for now, it's a real fucking love fest.
Yeah, I mean, even after 9/11, that shit didn't last that long. I think, I mean, I've seen all the community outreach stuff, and all these kids are actually going out and helping people clean stuff up. It's really fucking cool to see. But I think my favorite thing, and I know I'm making light of it now again, but the fucking weatherman who lost his shit.
He's a local celebrity now. Jamie Simpson. He went off because people were we ain't even talking about MMA anymore. But the local weatherman, who obviously I was watching that channel too. I'm watching this dude the whole time. And I suppose he was live on Facebook or something. So he's getting these comments constantly. And people are like, yo, get off the fucking TV. Fuck your ego. We want to watch The Bachelorette. You're ruining our TV show. And eventually Jamie, live on air, like just goes ham. Like, you know what? We're not going back to your program. This is just ridiculous, you guys. This is bullcrap. And I'm just getting tired of it. It's enough of you people. It's like, yo, Jimmy lost his shit and made the New York Times. There's memes going around about it now. He's like a fucking local celebrity now.
Dude, he's national. He fucking popped up on TV in Arizona. We're sitting here watching local news, and it's just like they just showed the clip of him losing his shit, and I was like, "Get the fuck out! That's amazing." Because the people who die is more important than people's safety and shit. I'm like, "Oh fuck! All right, dude. Hey, tell him."
Yo, that's what kind of brought me around. I'm fucking in the kitchen, fucking smoking and shit. I'm like, yeah, so what? It's a storm coming. Big whoop. Shit happens all the time. And eventually I hear homeboy on the fucking TV being like, no, this is serious. If you're in Huber Heights, which that's where we live, if you're in Huber Heights, the storm is coming for you. It's going to kill you. I'm like, oh shit, what'd he say? Right. And then right then we hear like a fucking howl, Jack, like the fucking house was about to get blown. I'm like, oh shit. Then it started hailing. I'm like, oh man, I'm about to fucking die. This is some bullshit. A tornado.
How close did you guys get? Like, how close did it get to your spot?
Not that close, man. Because if it would have got close, we'd have fucking died. But I mean, like, so the tornado itself didn't get very close to us, but like 7.5 miles up the road, it was devastation. Like shit was leveled. Like whole strip clubs were leveled. So it was like, it wasn't close to us, but it wasn't very far either to where it was like completely destroying shit with no, like the pictures you see me posting online. That shit's like 7 to 10 miles from my house.
That's so crazy. That's crazy. Jesse?
No, I was just gonna say, would it have been worth it for you to kind of bite the dust to see, if you were right or wrong about God?
Nope. Fuck that.
I don't give a fuck.
Not now, Jack. Not 34. We'll take that risk when I'm like 78. Or that fucking prick was in bed, that 81-year. Listen, I don't mean make light of the one dude that died. I'm not trying to be funny about this, but he was 81 years old. And I don't know if this is true or not, but what I heard is a fucking car flew through the house and hit him. And he was asleep in bed. But as I actually contemplated what that might actually be like, that's probably the easiest way to go, right? If a tornado throws a car into you, we're not talking about a car just parks on you. I mean, Jack, it's you, the bed, everything goes right through the floor. You're sleeping. It's fucking over before you knew it.
That'd be like a Hulk picking up a car and throwing it right at your ass. Like, that wasn't like hey, a tornado just happened to pick up a car. That was a tornado saying, go fuck yourself, and ended you. Like, that was that. Shit.
I'm cool with it. At 81, I can take that. Hey, better than just shitting on myself and dying. At least I had a fucking, a goddamn tornado fucking threw a car through me. How'd you get here?
He has a story. He has a story how he went. That's a good point. I never thought about that. Oh, fuck. Real quick. Hey, what up?
No, I was just gonna say, are we gonna segue into MMA?
Yeah, segue into MMA.
Before our two people that are watching, just leave.
And they might, who knows? Anyway, but anyway, shout out to MMA Gods and Raider in the comment section. What's up? MMA God says, nice community update from Fred. Was a bit worried when I saw the Klan with their rally. I grew up in the Midwest. Tornadoes are freaky. I've never been in one at all, so I have no idea. And then Raider says, hello, I always wanted to die that way.
Same.
And MMA God says, hell of a way to go. Fuck yeah, it is.
Except in my dream, I'm fucking some broad too. I'm about to nut right in her face, and then down we go. You know what I mean?
Then you get hit by the car. What the fuck?
Yep. Anyway. After I come in my dream, let me come, and then the car hits me, and to heaven we go.
If you don't,
probably hell to be fair, but wherever the fuck we're going, we're on our way, Jack.
All right.
I was gonna say, pretty confident there, going to heaven.
Look, man, I'm not confident in that shit. All right, let's talk a little bit MMA at least. Now we got the storm updates out of the way and how we would want to go and if we think we're going to heaven or hell. Fucking Uriah Faber's coming back. Who's excited?
Why not?
Me. I was going to say. I'm not hating it. I mean, Uriah didn't listen. There are motherfuckers fighting in the UFC right now that I just soon trade for Uriah Faber. BJ Penn.
Oh, come on.
Listen, let me tell you something. You could take BJ, Lil Nog, Big Anderson. I'll take Uriah for all of them, at least till he proves me a little different.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. You're not worried about him being like it'd be like watching fucking BJ Penn?
Not yet. I mean, shit, he didn't look that bad in his last fights, did he? I mean, maybe it's missed upon me, but I don't remember him getting the dog shit beat out of him by Joe, whoever the fuck.
Didn't he barely lose to like a top contender?
I thought so. Like I thought that he went out pretty high. Like I didn't think. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think that he was going to be challenging for the belt anytime soon. But I'm not worried for his health or nothing. I mean,
I want to say he won his last fight. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like excited. Like, oh, fucking, you know, well,
GSP's coming back.
Well, no, I was going to say like Marlon Moraes better be put on notice, but you know, listen. If the cute little ugly prick fucking Henry gets the belt, let's go, Uriah. Uriah might be able to pull a fast one on Henry.
Man, Uriah ain't making no fucking bantamweight anytime soon.
What the fuck's he doing? He fighting a featherweight then?
Yeah, it's a 145 fight.
Oh, Lord. That ain't good for him.
I'm pretty sure it's a 145 fight. I'm not 100% sure.
But he's a small guy. It's not like, you know, he's a giant dude. He's not what is it, Rumble, looking like he ate
but look,
Rumble.
Look.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you look at his Instagram, he's still kept in kind of decent shape. It's not like he's gonna kill himself.
So that's my theory. I think this man just wanted to get back in shape and he needs a reason.
No, he's a hippie child, right? Like Uriah Faber doesn't even take aspirins, right? He's fucking probably in mid condition. He's fucking bored. How many blonde whores can you bang before it gets old? You know what I mean? He's fucking
not more than that shit.
No,
he's gone for like how long's he been gone for?
Last fight was 2016.
Listen,
that's about it. 3 years. 3 years of fucking horrors. That's about it. Then you're ready to do something else.
No, I'll tell you what happened. He just had a kid recently, and so he's like, I need to get out of the house with this kid crying and everything. I'll take a fight.
Oh shit, I didn't even know he had a kid.
How old? Listen, all bullshit aside, it's because he's bored, right? We already know what time it is. He's got money. He's doing well. He's probably just bored in life. It's probably exactly why we do keep seeing BJ and Anderson fight. You know, I mean, he probably just wants to be competitive and do something.
Well,
BJ, let's go.
We know it's because he's got to support that blow, the alleged blow habit he has. So
yeah, man. Listen, you know how many fucking gas stations BJ Penn owns in Hawaii, Jack?
How alleged is that habit there, my friend?
I don't know. It's pretty alleged, I think.
I don't know about that. YouTube comments. Raider says, I think Uriah over Cejudo. Like, I can't even stand watching Cejudo. I think people are just tired of hearing him call himself, gold medalist.
Listen, I, for one, hope Marlon Moraes knocks the absolute dog shit out of Henry. I'll tell you what, all things being equal, I do need to see what Uriah looks like. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a top contender, but if he can make 35, I don't know. I don't necessarily. I mean, listen, when TJ Dillashaw got proved to be a fucking cheater, it kind of ruined things. Now 35's up in the air. I suppose if Marlon wins, then that's a pretty formidable champ, and that might not be no smoke that Uriah wants. Right. But I'm just not sold on this little 25 guy moving up and his stupid little hair bouncing around and his snake and his belt and his fucking stupid Olympic medal.
I'm just sick of the corny shit. I'm so tired of the corny shit from that dude. Like, come on, man, stop.
How dare you? How dare you?
What do you mean, how dare me?
Yeah, you don't support your Mexican brethren? How dare you?
Look, I mean, at least we do want to see him get knocked out. There's that at least.
Yeah, I want to see him get knocked the fuck out. But here's the thing, like dude, like, I draw the line somewhere. You gotta draw somewhere, dude. I mean, shit. Look,
he's the line, Jack.
Wait. And it's not with Kane faking a knee injury and going to wrestling? That's not the line?
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room then, asshole, since you're doing this shit. Okay? All right, I am disappointed in Cain Velasquez because the fact that you can do fucking wrestling tells me your knee didn't buckle, sir. You got knocked the fuck out. Let's be honest about getting knocked the fuck out. There's nothing wrong with getting knocked the fuck out by a guy like Francis Ngannou. Okay? If that guy knocks you out, hey, fair enough. Thanks for the fight, dude. I'm going to go back to the drawing board.
Cain Velasquez has more white in his beard than you do, Eddie. Y'all need to leave that old man alone. Let him go wrestle and get paid in fucking, goddamn it, Tijuana or wherever the fuck he's fucking off to. That dude is not in a great. He's old, Jack.
Weren't we just talking to Combate Americas? Maybe, Cain Velasquez and Combate.
Okay, now how dare you? No, it's not get fucking crazy. What the fuck?
Yeah.
If he does step in, let's now that Mike's gone, let's let the gloves down and let's not be disrespectful. Fucking Tito can take his funny ass to Combate, but we're not fucking letting Kane go a goddamn place.
And if he does, please make that fight against Tito.
Shit. If he does, it'll because he gets a knee amputated. If y'all think the UFC's letting Kane fight anywhere else, y'all are high as fuck.
Wait. You don't think the UFC, if they see kind of a lame duck here in any of their fighters, they'll let him go? Look what they just did to Elias Theodorou.
I know on a winning streak. No. I know.
They let him go.
No, stop it. You did not just compare
Elias I was going to say.
Elias jogging.
Wait. You're right. You're right. Wait, Fred.
How dare you?
You're right. You're right, Eddie. How dare I? Because Elias at least was on a winning streak.
Ooh, zing! Listen, that's real cute. The problem is Elias puts about 32 wet pussies in seats, and it's where I appreciate that from him, and I envy that very much. It ain't much. Kane comes in, and 6,000 crazy Mexicans come in, and they buy 42 beers apiece.
Now,
so he ain't going no. Look, at the end of the day, I do dig what you're saying, but real talk. Kane is still valuable. Who knows how good of a fighter he is, but his name still holds merit and makes money. And as long as that's the case, look, if he don't want to fight and his knees are bad, fair enough. But if you start gearing up for a fight, sweet baby boy, it'll be in the UFC and we'll be collecting those ducats for it. You ain't going and taking your fucking name to Kumbates yet. We got a couple more lions to eat you up first before we let you do that.
Eddie, real quick. But don't you think? I know you guys have seen the estimated quote unquote buy rate for the last couple pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Don't you think the era of a name being a marquee thing, unless your last name is McGregor, don't you think that era is kind of gone at this point? Because it doesn't seem like whatever pay-per-view event they put on, it doesn't seem like it's selling, no matter what the pay-per-view is.
Listen, dude. Go ahead.
Listen. No. I'm about to let y'all in on something. Newsflash. I'm going to let y'all in on something. I'm going to tell you something right now because I don't give a fuck. I will incriminate myself to make my point.
Wait. Don't pull a Brendan Schaub over here.
Oh, man, fuck Brendan Schaub.
It's too late. He already fucked it up.
Let me tell you something. I'm funnier than Brendan Schaub now in my little punk-ass room right here. Brendan Schaub can kiss my ass, Jack. He can enjoy all those millions and all his money. But on a pure talent level for being funny, he don't hold a goddamn candlestick to Daddy Fred.
Dude. Okay, look, I haven't watched it yet. All right, but someone sent me a screenshot of the Rotten Tomatoes score on it. It was like 8%, or like the audience score was 8%, and like no critics watched it, right? Which is whatever, fuck the critics. All right, and I was like, there's no way it's real. And I was right, it's not real. It got up to 9%. All right, with a shitload of negative fucking reviews. Like, dude. Okay, the best thing is somebody on Twitter. I know this dude. I probably did forget your name, but sent me on Twitter an email that somebody's, or I guess he got, telling people or fans of Brendan Schaub or the fighter and the kid to go and put like a positive review on his shit, and they'll get 50% off something on some CBD stuff.
Oil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, bro, you're buying leaks.
Okay, listen. Look. Eddie, you say it all the time. You can't be mad at a guy trying to do his hustle, trying to get money.
100%.
But the fact that you go around and saying you're the best marketer, you're the best this, you're the best that, you're funny and all this stuff, yet you put out a special 3 years into a career where most comedians at 3 years are humble enough to know that they're not good enough to do that. Yet you think you're so good, you do that, and then you're basically taking an L.
Right.
With all your fans, yet you don't care. You know what I'm saying? And then, to top that off, you go on your show and then you out a very prominent streaming service for people. You're just not. You're just not giving yourself that opportunity for fans to even like you anymore. You're just being a dumbass.
Listen, I like Brendan. I'm just way funnier than he is. I like him though. I like his podcast. I know y'all might not. I like the fucking whatever I don't recall the name of it, but I enjoy it though. I tune in his MMA podcast. He's got the little guy that you can't see. It's just a voice. He's got a kind of a comforting voice. His name's probably Jamie or some like white guy name like that. I enjoy his whole little podcast deal. He's not the most hilarious guy in the world, but I enjoy him. Okay, listen, hold on before I forget my fucking point.
Go
ahead. Streaming. Does the UFC care? Yes. Listen, I don't think my point was, I no longer buy the UFCs unless they're strong, which is stupid of me because I should just stream them all. But in my own little weird world, from now on, if the card is worth it, I will pay for it from ESPN Plus. If not, I will pilfer it like the other millions and millions of people pilfering these cocksuckers every month. Now, here's the deal, though. I think that the UFC and ESPN did not get to where they're at by being fucking morons. Right. So the writing is obviously on the wall, right? Y'all going to get streamed, period. So y'all are going to start losing at least a major portion of that revenue. But the upside is we're all still watching.
Right.
Okay. So how are they going to monetize that? And don't worry, they'll figure it out. They'll figure out a way to get money out of our little stupid eyeballs, one way or the other. Whether they just sell the product to live TV, however they do it, they will figure it out. But that's the way it's going right now. I don't think that they're just like, oh, fuck it, they're streaming it, so we're just going to shit can the product.
Right.
They know what's happening. The writing's on the wall. Streaming is, nothing you can do about it at this point. If you're going to move online with your fucking shit, people are going to stream it, period. Pay-per-view is low-key dead, but they still have all of us watching, which is invaluable in its own right. They're just going to figure out how to monetize that.
Here's the thing, though, Fred. You also have to, and everybody out there has to understand that they're definitely not losing money on this deal. Okay?
The UFC isn't that much.
No, not even ESPN, because think about it. They just rehash their contract to be able to do all the pay-per-view stuff and, be able to offer the pay-per-views as deals and all that stuff. Also, now Endeavor is going to go public, right?
Right.
You don't go public when your company's failing. Do you know why?
Right.
Because then everybody can see how bad your company's doing because everything has to be public. So now we all get to see what you're doing. And that's the problem. So for everybody like already, throwing the little white flag saying the UFC's done, Endeavor is going broke. That's why no, they're actually doing very well enough, in fact, to be able to put their books out there for people to invest in them.
Okay.
They're just winning.
What is the word in the initial IPO?
What is the what?
The IPO, the initial public offering. Like what's have you heard anything about what the price you think they're going to be?
I think they barely started doing the paperwork with the Stocks and Trade Commission. So I don't know if they've actually announced what the pricing is going to be. I don't imagine it's going to be that expensive. I mean, I'm sure they want a bunch of morons to like invest, $100, $200, $300, into the stock.
Right. I mean, I'll consider it depending on what it looks like, but I don't know. I fuck around a little bit in the stock market, not anywhere near enough to even talk about it, but still. All right. Let me check the comments real quick here. Raider says, damn, Jesse on Friday night. No, Jesse has some straight up traitor shit. Bringing up Cain Velasquez with that bullshit. Try to call me a traitor for fucking hoping that Henry Cejudo gets knocked the fuck out. Get out of here. The other thing I want to talk about very fast is I know Michael's like, hey, you're going to come down to Tucson? I would love to. The problem,
it's outside.
Tito's there. No, Tito's there.
Oh, I thought it was because it's outside.
It's also outside, but Tito's there, okay?
What's your pickle with Tito?
I don't have a pickle. He has it with me. For some reason, he blocked my ass for making fun of the fact that he doesn't know that Las Vegas isn't in California.
Shit. Let me tell you something, Jack. I would be front and center. Tito, all due respect, I wish you would. I got about motherfucking $300 to my name. I know you guys signed a bunch of money to be here with Kumbate. Knock the shit out of me, please. And I tell you what, I'll settle out of court for a cool $55,000. No taxes.
You know what? Okay, maybe I'm going to Tucson. Anyway.
Yeah, listen, a couple broken teeth, a broken jaw. Yeah, Tito hits you, you're famous, you get to sue him. Not a bad trade.
No, it's not. Speaking of suing, remind us to talk about Yoel Romero and his nice little settlement. Real quick.
No, talk about it.
Real quick. The Combate's having Tito as a marketing person. I know a lot of you people are gonna laugh and say he's an idiot. He doesn't know how to speak. Blah blah blah. The one thing that Tito is good at, and it's not fighting, is that he's good at marketing. He's actually very damn good at it. Yeah. And here's the reason how I can easily explain it to people that don't know. how many of you know what punishment is as a clothing company?
Right.
Mostly all of us, right? We all know it.
Have you ever seen a human being wearing one of those shirts?
No, I haven't.
Not in real life, I haven't. I've never seen a human. But you're right. You make a good point. I know exactly what it is, though. I'm sure it's probably more of a Southern California thing. I'm sure Raiders probably. I see all kinds of douchebags out here wearing them.
I could see. You know, Raider having a shirt probably.
Oh.
Wow. Yo, he just called you out. You gonna let him do that? You gonna let him do that? Because you ain't on fire no more, Jesse. Fuck you. I'm just playing. I'm playing.
Listen, Jesse would be cutting some grass for free if he stayed close to Raider. That'll go to a joke that was earlier on Facebook. So you're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Raider goes, damn, block Jesse.
Hilarious.
MMA God said that earlier. Says fuck Brendan Shaw. That stand-up special. The stand-up special was trash. Fred's way funnier.
Hey, now.
I agree. Like, I haven't watched it yet, and I wasn't planning on it. The more people talk about it, the more that I'm going to try and find a copy somewhere to watch.
You know what? I'm not one of those people who likes watching Faces of Death or train wrecks. I will not be watching this comedy special. I hate that shit where it's so bad you feel sorry for somebody. Nah, bro. I'm not putting myself through that.
Dude, I'll watch some shit where I'm like, I'm embarrassed for them. Like, they don't.
I hate that. No,
I'm like,
fuck. I hate watching shit like that.
Like, yeah, I hate being embarrassed for people, but it fucking happens, man.
All right, fuck. Yoel, 200.
Yeah,
how much? 27.
27 million.
Yeah.
All right. First question: do we ever see him fight again?
Yes.
Fuck no. What?
Yeah, he has a fight against Paulo Costa, doesn't he?
He had. If I'm Yoel, he had. I'm going back to Cuba.
Bro.
No more Mr. Boy with Michael. I'm fucking.
Don't you mean you buy Cuba at this point? What's it going to cost him, like $2 million?
You buy a Porsche.
Probably afford it. I mean,
no, listen. Let's keep it a bean. You move straight to Miami. You fucking open up one of those ceviche places. Fucking big booty brown broads jumping around. Some nice fucking mariachi music on the tunes. UFC would never see me again. They'd see me in the fucking stands.
Hey, here's the thing. So this is like people that fucking say, hey, if I won the lottery, I'd just keep going to work because I like working. No, the fuck you wouldn't. The second your fucking supervisor or manager starts giving you shit, motherfucker, you'd be like, I don't take any of this shit. Fuck you. And you'd be out the door. Yo, Romero, the second Dana White doesn't want to give him what he wants. All right.
Oh,
See
Eddie.
you soon, boy. What?
Little update real quick. Sorry. $40 per stock or per share is what it's going to open up at, it looks like.
That's a lot.
When will that be?
I don't know. I'm barely reading it, so
all right, you know,
just keep me up to date because I want to put some fucking money in these stocks, Jack. Fuck it. I've been watching this punk ass sport forever. I live or die with it. Either the shit transcends and I make some money, or I'll sink with this cocksucker.
Yeah, I mean, look, $40 IPO.
Oh, never mind.
High, but still, what?
What the fuck were we talking about, though? I had something to say about that.
Talking about Yoel Romero.
What did you say about Yoel?
Look, listen.
He ain't coming back to fighting, dude. What up?
Here's the thing, though, with Yoel. Don't you think that now moving forward, more fighters are going to be doing this thing? Like, if it's for real that if you really did get a tainted supplement, aren't you gonna see this moving forward? Like, more fighters are gonna be like, well, I got acquitted, and now I'm gonna go to the company and sue them and get my money back for lost wages and stuff. Because now here's the thing, if they don't, obviously it means that they were cheating, right? Because then they're not gonna go after the people that cost them time and money.
But do it for PR purposes.
Okay, but hold on. I was just about to say this. I'll say we like to have a lot of fun on this podcast and just talk a lot of shit. But let's switch it up and have like a realistic, like, okay. So now, for me, the question becomes now, how bad does this make USADA look? Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, other people have done this before and gotten out of it. True. Nobody's ever sued for 27 fucking million. And let me tell you something, Jack. Just like the people that get out of it, we end up never really giving them that shit back because, you know what I mean? Once you test positive, you think anybody gives a fuck that whoever the fuck Tim Means or whoever ended up getting out of it or whatever. None of that shit matters. But this one, him being able to sue for 27 million, this one will count and it'll matter. There's going to be headlines about it. Like, I feel like this could completely change the narrative on USADA.
But it wasn't USADA that he sued. He sued the company that sold him the tainted supplements, Fred.
Nonetheless, USADA's the one that fucking put him out for the whole fucking shebang.
But that's what I'm saying, Fred. Now moving forward, are we going to see John Jones sue a company that supposedly supplied him the dick pills or something because that's where he got his tainted supplement? Because if he doesn't,
sure. I mean, but they probably already are suing them. I just feel like from a public standpoint, this is going to be like, oh, USADA. Like, I feel like the details come out and motherfuckers just don't believe it or something. Now that this sue has happened, I feel like a lot of people will be like the final big official thing, like, oh, Yoel really never did do that. And how accurate are these tests? Or maybe some of the guys that we all think did cheat, maybe they didn't cheat. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, Fred. Now, sorry. Now imagine moving forward, you have another fighter who pops and does that defense where, oh, it was the tainted supplements. But then after he gets cleared or acquitted or whatever, he never sues the company. He just goes, well, I'm good. Like, I got my suspension lowered. Now, don't you think moving forward, a lot more people are going to be like, hey, so TJ Dillashaw, for example, you say it's a tainted supplement. Why don't you sue the supplement company? I'm just going to let it slide. No, now we have the prime example of the steps you need to do, right? You go through the USADA thing, you get your name cleared, and sue the company for screwing you out of money. And look at the settlement that he got. I mean, that's more money than he's probably going to make in the UFC, right?
27 million. Look, man, ain't nobody
by a country mile. But yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will try to follow suit now. Maybe it'll work for some, it won't work for others. But it definitely feels like something's about to change with this shit. Like, this was a big, for me, being a layman dummy, I look at this and I go, okay, 27 million is a fucking lot. Like, and I measure the significance of the fuck up by how much money that is.
Right.
Like, if this was a little wee bitty fuck up, that's worth about $1 million or $2 million.
Yep.
3, 4, 5 million, that's a pretty big fuck up. God damn it, 27 million?
But that's
somebody fucking straight up lied or something. Like, that's a huge fuck up on somebody's behalf.
But that's also because it was $3 million for each suit that they had. I think it was 3 lawsuits that they won. Yeah. So it's $3 million for each, or maybe it was 4 of them, and then times that by 3 because of some law in whatever state he's in, and so it triples it or quadruples it or whatever, and that's where you come up with the 27 million.
Man, look, I don't give a fuck what kind of voodoo economics you try to put on it. He got 27 million because somebody fucked up majorly.
Yeah, dude, look. Listen,
what the fuck is the name of that company? That's what we all need to know. Let me tell you something right now. You never take one of those fucking pills.
Well, if you're a fighter, imagine being a fighter and looking in your pantry and being like, oh, hey, I have one of those.
See, hey, look.
Yeah, no shit.
And Raider just made it like the point that I wanted to say. She says, I wonder if he actually gets his money. Yeah, is that company even worth even near that much? Like, who knows? Some companies aren't even that big. Unless you're like Muscle Farm.
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
I never heard
that's a lot of money.
Right. I haven't heard of Gold Star in my fucking life, dude. So I have no idea.
And also think about it. Lawyer fees, court fees. That 27 million is probably going to end up being like what, like 5, 6, 7 million in the end.
Them motherfuckers will be sitting there with a couple $100,000, like, take it, baby boy. We ain't got nothing left. You know, close us dry.
Yeah, fuck that dude. That dude, he'll get away with it. If he actually gets that much, that amount, he'll go home with like 12 million, maybe 10. That's enough to live the rest of your life if you're not an asshole. So.
Okay.
You're fine.
But realistically, I do think he will fight fucking what's the person name? Boranchina. I'm calling him Boranchina. I know he tried to change it, but fuck that. I like the way that rolls off my tongue. So Boranchina, he stays for all of me.
I'm calling him USADA bulletproof. I don't know how the fuck it hasn't gotten popped yet.
Doesn't. That's a whole fucking.
He's not cheating, okay? He's not cheating.
That's a very funny joke. That's where we need to cue the fucking laugh track. He's not cheating. My ass. But if he does get starched by Boranchina, I do think then he might be like, yeah, maybe I'll keep some of my millions.
You know what he'll do? And he'll be like, oh yeah. What was the fight at 205 or something like that? Was that the fight or 185?
You know what? I think it was 205.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say it's 205, right? Let's say it's 205, right? He's gonna come in on weighing day and be like, you know what? I didn't cut weight, man. How much do you weigh? 225. Well, we're gonna take away your 30% of your purse. I'm like, take
Cool.
the fucking purse. I don't
Great
give a
idea.
shit. You know what I mean? Like,
listen,
okay.
if I was him, I would be down as long as I'm winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as I'm the hammer. The first time I'm the fucking nail, you can give the sport back to the Indians. I'm leaving. But as long as I'm winning and kicking ass, hey, let's go.
Real quick. This reminded me of something that I saw, a little clip of a video. Ariel Helwani, you're an ass.
Oh boy.
Look, we already know I dislike Ariel Helwani, but to be like bold-faced and tell Lionheart to his face, hey, have you seen that video? Why would you do that to yourself? You're like, what do you say? Something like it's a poor performance and disgraceful or something like that. I was like, God damn, you're gonna say that to like his face, basically?
When was this shit?
Yeah, it was on the show.
The fact that I haven't seen it, I haven't watched the show.
Well, no. Hold on.
Jesus. I didn't hear about this shit. It should have been huge.
Correct me.
Jesus needs a little context here.
Well, okay, what happened?
Lionheart was previously saying that he was embarrassed by the performance. And he had then said that he had seen the fight many times. So Ariel was being like, well, why would you put yourself through that if it embarrasses you seeing that embarrassing performance? Listen, I don't love him, but goddamn it, Jesus, you gotta add a little context here.
No. You gotta show a little bit of respect. Even if you, Fred, yourself are like, well, I suck dicks, I wouldn't be like, well, how does it feel to be a cocksucker? I wouldn't say that. I just feel like, I would respect.
It's a real fucking weird turn. I don't really like your implications, Jesus, but I get your point.
Look.
Weird fucking way, real quick. Go ahead.
There's a level of respect, between an interviewer and an interviewee. Yeah. And just because somebody affronts something of how they feel about something doesn't mean you can take that and use that, kind of like, to me, it was like disrespectful,
Right.
Especially like with this whole thing about Ariel Helwani talking about how, Lionheart should have taken that DQ and all this stuff. And you know what I'm saying? It just has a little edge of like, just like not respecting the fighter that he's interviewing.
Yeah, look, man, fucking with Lionheart and that whole thing, like he took that. What's his name? Helwani fucking took that back real fast once he got a bunch of flack. Not because he gave a shit, because he took flack. And we all know Helwani has no backbone. That's what happens. All right, but and real quick, let me catch my YouTube comments real quick. What up, Jeremiah? The Hardcore MMA show. He's hanging out with us and shit over here. Talking about John Jones is innocent. LOL. Okay. Of course, I know he's just fucking around. Raider says, I thought Costa got busted for IV. He did, but somehow he got away with it. I don't know how that worked out. And then she says, okay, take it back. Jesse off his rocker tonight. Yeah, you're crazy. Yeah. And then Jeremiah says, damn, Fred, it ain't like that, is it, bruh? Yeah.
About what? What I say? Sucking dicks and shit? That was Jesse. He made that bullshit about sucking dicks. I don't know if that was his weird little.
I like how they're attesting it to you, so I like it.
So, all right. So since you brought up Helwani on the Instagram, because I put up the topics and shit, or asked people to send topics. Somebody actually asked about MMA fighting because apparently they've been losing dudes left and fucking right. I know obviously Helwani left a while ago, but they lost Oshadi. They lost the little midget fuck.
Mendenhall, right?
Ramondi.
They just Ramondi, that dickwad. No, Mendenhall actually, like he left. Fucking, like, people are fucking dropping left and right. People are like, what's happening to MMA fighting? Clickbait. They become BJPen.com. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And I mean, to me, this is my opinion only. And I know people are like, well, you fucking don't like them. I know. I know. I've been calling them out forever for you doing that whole MMA news or MMA fighting news wire. That's just some shit you use because you don't want to put your name on some shit because you know it's clickbait. So, MMA Junkie calls it the blue corner. Is what it is. But yeah, it's kind of weird, that whole thing. But I mean, Fred, you fucking called this shit as soon as Helwani left, right? That whole website was gonna sink.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I felt like it would be bad for both of them, and I feel like it is. I haven't really watched Helwani's show. I don't know what kind of numbers he's doing on ESPN. I haven't really fucked with this shit much since then. I watch a little. Listen, I don't go to fucking MMA fighting for nothing, and this is not me hating or being. It's real talk. Like to be fair, I don't go to many MMA websites. I guess I get most of my MMA news through Twitter or Facebook, to keep it a bean. I used to go to some of those sites. I used to go to Bloody Elbow. I used to go to Junkie. Used to go to MMA Fighting. I kind of fell off of all that, but I did used to go to MMA Fighting a lot. And I have slowly fell off of fucking with any of the shit. And as they're losing, they're good writers, they're good podcasters. It's all just fucking falling off anyway. So, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense though, you know, like it was a star-studded lineup, so to speak, for a while. And then as that shit slowly starts dissipating, everybody starts jumping shit. Now, the good news is we are still unsigned. So for the small fee of, I don't know, a couple grand a week, we will bring our fucking extremely buoyant personalities to MMA fighting and bring them right the fuck round. But until then, they can keep sinking like the fucking Titanic. You know what I mean?
Is it just Luke Thomas at this point? Luke Thomas and Esther Lynn. And
Esther Lynn is just photos, man.
Right.
Esther Lynn is super talented. If ESPN doesn't hire her, they're fucking idiots.
I was as far as the talent goes, yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of writers and shit. And to be fair, I shouldn't real talk. I shouldn't be shitting on because I don't even know who most of the people that work for MMA fight. Like at this point, most of those stars are gone, and I'm sure somebody is doing them jobs. And it's probably not their fault that they're just following these people up. It seems like it's just more of a bad case of management by whoever actually runs that site. They're losing most of their talent to other places and shit. So, but yeah, like somebody's there. But as far as talent goes, as far as people who are actually bringing eyeballs to that website, it's fucking Esther Lynn and Luke Thomas.
Yeah, and look, I think other than that fucking midget clickbait peddler fuck, everybody else go get your money. I don't give a fuck. ESPN, hey, get your money. Mendenhall, I don't know where he's going. Get your money. Al-Shadi, go get your money, dude.
I like Mendenhall. To be fair, I fuck with Chuck.
I do too.
I like Mendenhall.
I like Mendenhall a lot. I think Mendenhall is probably one of the most talented guys that they just lost. And I like Al-Shadi. First of all, I met Al-Shadi, fellow Suns fan, okay? But at the same time, he's a really nice fucking dude. I got to talk to him like a handful of years ago at what was it used to be? It was PFL. What does it used to be called?
World
Series of Fighting. God, that was a bad name.
Yeah, it really was. But it was at the I got to hang out with them at both Gaethje Palomino fights. That was cool. But what up?
No, I was trying to look it up. I don't know if maybe you can look it up faster for me, Eddie. But MMA Junkie just signed somebody else to their company, another writer. So I mean, like it seems like a lot of these guys that are leaving MMA fighting are jumping ship and going to other places. It's just unfortunate because as we all know, I mean, MMA fighting was kind of the premier stop. It was like MMA fighting, MMA Junkie, and then everything else, and then at the very bottom, BJ Penn if you wanted to laugh. But like it seems like this whole community of writers is starting to fall apart, right? And it just seems like who knows what's going to happen next for these guys, because a lot of these guys, I think, put a lot into being a part of that. What was it? The MMA Journalists Association. And they thought that they were able to do something together. And now it just kind of seems like it's just all going into disarray.
Yeah, I mean, look, and yeah, it is. And then that's the I guess that's going to be a casualty to this whole thing because no one's sticking together. But that's one thing though, that this creates opportunity for people like us, people like
hell yeah.
Who's that one dude? Pure Evil Eddie. What was his name? Yeah, Pure Evil.
Yeah, MMA.
Eddie, Eddie from Pure Evil MMA. Like that dude, he's pretty fucking good when he does interviews and shit. He's pretty damn solid, and he writes shit. He's a good writer. Like it opens up shit for guys like that. If Dave Madden was a fucking, if he could get a spot somewhere there making memes with somebody, I think he'd be great.
Real talk. We ought to be like the band of motherfuckers that just do our own shit. Because Dave Madden's hilarious, dog. He deserves his own little meme page. We ought to start a fucking little blog or a website or some shit where it's just our own shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at
MMA fighting's dissipating. They need some competition, Jack.
Yeah, look at what was it? Boss Logic. A guy that kind of does his thing, and on the side, and everybody kind of just rallied around him. And look at him now. I mean, he's doing stuff for Marvel, stuff for Disney. Like,
he does good fucking work. I mean, if you're talented, you will get support. Is what it is. Real quick, Radio says Ariel never talks about that shit now that he's at ESPN. Yeah, look, Air doesn't talk about much fucking anything now that he's ESPN. Like, look, I completely have forgotten about Air Horn as far as MMA goes. Had forgotten about it, and I think a lot of it, probably most of it probably has to do with UFC moving over to ESPN, and having like two dudes and shit. But it's I don't know, it's really weird. Jeremiah says, "What up?"
No, go ahead.
No, Jeremiah says if we all had our own shit, what the fuck? Hold on, I gotta pull this. All right, okay. If we all had our own shit, that would be the shit. We actually know our shit.
About the shit, but he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna say is, at the end of the day, I ain't even mad at Ariel. Like you said, cool. Get the fuck off of our platform and let us have our. We've been out here doing our thing, grinding for a while. Let us build our shit up a little bit. Luke Thomas, take your monkey ass on the ESPN, baby. They should be paying you some millions. Get the fuck out of here. Then MMA fighting for real to have to fuck around and sign one of us. You understand me? Put the rest of us on. Shit, y'all go on and do your thing. They've been there doing that. The fuck out of here.
Oh, it was Simon Head who just got signed with Junkie.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah.
All right. By the way,
it's an interesting name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might have mentioned that to him once on Twitter. Raider says, and she's talking about Evil Eddie. She goes, Eddie does a lot of stuff. Madden just rocks, man. I loved him covering NorCal. Actually, Madden did a lot of that, like live shit. He went to like live events and covered them and everything. And I don't think he does it anymore. But like, I don't blame him. That shit's fucking hard work when you have a full-time job and you're trying to do shit on the side. And he's doing way better with the memes, man.
Listen, I like to pride myself and us on this podcast for riding a fine line between talking shit and having fun and being comedic about the fighters, but still actually knowing our shit and respecting the sport. And I love Dave for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
He will go in on some shit. I can't wait to see those little butthurt ass babies in his comments. You're so stupid. You're so rude to MMA. I fucking love it because I know that Dave loves the sport and he knows his shit. I can take a good fucking joke. And I love the fact that the people who listen to this podcast can take a good joke. They know that we all love the sport. We're here to have some fucking fun. I can't stand these fucking, journalists with a stick up their ass about offending the fighters. Man, I don't give a fuck. We're not here to be the fighters' friends. We're here to talk about the sport that we love.
Thank you for reminding me, Fred. Did any of you guys see the interview that what was it? The MMA Hour did with Ali Abdelaziz?
Yep.
Wait. He did a video interview, like podcast?
No. He was there in studio with Luke Thomas.
Oh God! All right.
Yep, I seen it. He did hot box with Mike Tyson. Ali Dubo has been on a lot of things this week.
Okay, I didn't see it, Jesse. I'm ready. Go ahead. What the fuck happened?
No. Actually, I have to give it up to Luke Thomas because he actually did press him with some questions, none that you would never see Ariel even attempt. I mean, Ariel
doesn't have balls.
Ariel just be like, well, here's Ali. You're the greatest guy ever. Whatever you want to talk about, go ahead. No, actually, Luke Thomas talked about the whole Khabib having associations with
Kadirov. What did he say? What did he say about that?
He basically said he danced around it, but he basically was saying like, you don't know the situation, kind of like what we know. You're not going to say no to Kadirov if you live in that country.
Right.
But instead of just saying that, he kind of danced around it. Then I think he also asked him about Mike Russell and all the stuff Mike Russell has been doing.
What'd he say?
Again, he danced around it, said that Mike Russell has some other interest because he was a manager as well. Just basically tried to discredit what Mike Russell was saying and doing.
Oh, Jesus
of course, what he would do, but I mean, it was still a pretty good interview. If you can go find it, go back and look at it.
I'm gonna have to look for it.
I thought it was pretty interesting, and it was actually refreshing that one of these guys that actually has the ability to talk to these guys actually took the chance and gave the questions and even pressed when the question was danced around a bit, pressed it until he got somewhat of an answer, even though it wasn't a satisfactory answer. At least he got something out of it. Yeah.
See, Luke Thomas would do that. Luke Thomas is the guy that John Jones hates and won't answer questions from, and he will get his credentials pulled. And you'll never see Luke Thomas at a John Jones event. It's just not happening because he was, he had the balls to go after John. But so I can give Luke Thomas that credit.
But you also never see Luke Thomas on the show crying about losing his credentials.
Yeah, or crying, just crying for 2 or 3 hours on a pity party. Fucking Hawaiian, what a cunt! I just can't respect that dude. I give him again, big ups for being the first guy, and congratulations on getting the money. Go do that, take care of your family. On that end, 100% go get him, dude. I don't give a fuck. On the whole, thinking like people thinking you're the best, go fuck yourself. Like no, you're not. No, hell no. But you were there first. I give him that credit. All right. It says Luke Thomas putting some really good stuff on his YouTube again. I haven't watched any of it. I like his breakdowns, and I used to like his Monday morning analysts, but I haven't watched it in fucking forever.
I think those he puts separately on YouTube now. So now you can just get those real easy little clips here and there.
I might check that out. Dude's been hustling pretty hard. All right. Shit, we're starting right out of time. So let's talk about this weekend. UFC Stockholm. We got the aforementioned Anthony Lionheart-Smith taking on Alexander Gustafson. To me, it's you're not fighting John Jones. You're fighting just under John Jones, in my opinion, with Gustafson. Jesse, how do you see this fight going? And who you picking?
Look, I've never been a Gustaffson fan. I know, pour out a little bit of my beer for our fallen fan of Gustaffson. Lots of respect, but I just have never been a fan of Gustaffson. I always feel like Gustaffson has kind of rested on his laurels of one fight where he got a John Jones that wasn't up to par,
Right.
And he's kind of been like, well, I did that, and then he's been kind of wishy-washy since then. And it just feels like, even though it's a little too soon after the beating that Lionheart took, I think probably Lionheart's going to be able to win this fight pretty easily, probably second or third round TKO KO.
Damn, dude. To me, Gus is way too long for that. Damn. I mean, okay. All right. Hey, fair enough. Fred, what are you thinking?
But here's the thing. You also have to remember, Gus has also been wishy-washy about he's retired, he's not retired. I don't know if I still got it. Maybe I do got it. I beat this guy that, isn't as good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Gus has been so up and down. I can't put money on him.
Fair enough.
Jesse, at times I wonder if you're actually trolling or if you're being serious and maybe just taking a swing in the wind. Lest we not act like Alexander Gustafson didn't just tap dance all over Glover's face. Need I show you the gif of the uppercuts, one after another, beautifully placed on Glover's chin? Look, I think Gustaffson is going to fucking kill Anthony Lionheart-Smith. I don't. You are a cute little cocksucker, I swear. Look, it's ironic that you would say he's resting on his laurels of one win, because that's exactly what I think Lionheart's doing. He's resting on the laurels of 2 wins of 2 dudes combined age of 1,005 years old. He beat Rashad Evans and Shogun. They're both 96 years old.
Didn't he beat somebody else in that run?
Huh?
Didn't he beat somebody else in that run too?
Yeah, he beat fucking Ozdemir too. Who the fuck knew here? No Time literally is his nickname. You know why? Because nobody has any time to know who the fuck he is. He came out of nowhere.
Okay. Hey, look, even I dunked once in my high school basketball career. One time. It happened.
Damn. Look. I'm just saying, if I blew up Fred to 205 pounds, I would give Fred a very, very good shot at beating Gustaffson. I'm just saying.
Disrespect. The disrespect, sir.
Yeah. No, I buy that, because if you blew me up to 205 pounds, put some tattoos on me, and cut my beautiful hair, you would have Anthony Lionheart-Smith. A herd of shit that just looked like he got out of the joint. What the fuck?
You know what's the best part about that? You know what's the best part about that? I could picture that.
I mean, listen. I think he's biracial. Is he not biracial? What's his deal? He's got some weird ethnicity shit going on.
Fred,
he's probably like Cuban or something.
If that's not what your Halloween costume is this year, I'm gonna be extremely disappointed.
Be Anthony Lionheart-Smith.
Yeah.
I'll be him after Gustaffson fucking dots his eye on Saturday night.
Right. All right. Jeremiah says Gus is gonna fuck Lionheart up, no different than the Glover fight. Raider says, I hope Smith loses hard. Why they hate on Smith? Damn.
I mean, listen, he shouldn't be there, man. He is not that fucking good.
Look, he's the Brendan Schaub of the 205 division. Like, he kind of got there by beating, by jumping on top of 2 people.
Listen, I hate to end this off by agreeing with you, Jesus, but that was pretty good. Like I can kind of see that a little bit. Old Brenda did sneak in and beat a couple aging legends, and then next thing you know, we were taking him seriously, and then
yeah, well, shit. There you go.
Although he did get snuffed out by Big Nog too, so whatever.
Yeah, he did. All right. Co-main event is Volkan or former teammates or at least training partners Volkan Ozdemir taking on Ilir Latifi. Latifi's giving up like 8 inches once again, fucking to his opponent. I mean, Jimmy Manuel was taking on Alexander Rakic, however you say his last name. Makwan Amirkhani, who's a guy that seems like he fights once every 15 years, taking on Chris Fishgold. And Dana Tim was on that card. I'm literally just giving you like the guys that you would like. Fuck. Oh, Tanya Evinger against Lena Landsberg.
Ooh,
that's not bad. Tanya hasn't fought in a while. Stevie Ray's back, taking on Leonardo Santos. Nick Hines back against Frank Camacho. And look, man, all in all, it's an early card. So I believe it kicks off 7 a.m. Yeah, 7 a.m. Pacific time. So mine and Jesse time, 7 a.m.
Fuck.
It's gonna be like a 10. Yeah, it's a 10 a.m. card for you.
I thought it was in Sweden.
It is.
What's up with these weirdy beardy times? I thought that was only some Asia shit.
No, it's yeah.
Fucking damn! I didn't think. I thought Sweden, fucking like a nice little 9 noon card or some shit.
Look, get up early, hit up. I believe it's ESPN Plus the entire card. No, I'm sorry. The prelims are ESPN2. So you guys don't have that shit. You might.
Do they? Are you fucking sure? What is it? My time. What is it for the Eastern pricks? Eastern Standard.
That'd be 10 a.m. for you. The prelims are 10 a.m. for you.
Ah, okay.
Right. So this is a get up, go down the street, get a coffee and a fucking breakfast burrito, and head home and watch some fights, and then have
I can dig that. I love. Okay, fair enough. 10 o'clock I can take. I love these cards.
Yeah. I mean,
or you could just skip it and go do something with your life. Are we really excited for this card?
How dare you? Listen. I mean, we didn't have one last week, baby. I'm waiting right now, Jack. I'm fucking Saturday. Can't get here fast enough. And also, this is dope too because it is. I mean, shit. It'll be over by 4 or 5, and you can still go do something. So perfect.
Okay, so you're the guy fiending off of the MMA. Did you watch the PFL last weekend?
To keep it a buck, man, I didn't even know it was on. I found out like later on Twitter, but I didn't even know the PFL. I haven't been paying close enough attention to the PFL. Have you guys watched it? Is it actually a good product, or can I just say fuck it?
Look, you can say fuck it. Sorry, there's not that much. They have I'm just being honest, dude.
Think of Bellator when it first started, and they got some kind of like a couple mismatches, and people get knocked out viciously. That's like that.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, I'll wait for them to get their shit together a little bit. Maybe I'll watch the fight where they crown the $1 million winner or whatnot.
I'll say this: Combate Vegas is better than PFL to me because the action is definitely there, and you got some you at least get 2 guys in there that want to throw down. But PFL, you get like mismatches like a motherfucker, dude.
And listen, because Combates fucks with us. You understand me? They come fucking around on our show.
Hey, listen. PFL comes and sponsors us. We'll be PFL all day.
That's what I'm saying. PFL, if you get this motherfucking little podcast in your inbox, come fuck with us. Till then, kiss my ass, Jack.
All right, boys. What else? Okay, so let's go over the couple upcoming cards. So obviously this weekend is UFC Stockholm. Next weekend, June 8th? Yeah, next weekend, UFC 238. Your favorite fight of the year. Henry Cejudo, gold medalist, taking on Marlon Moraes for the fucking 135-pound belt with a co-main event. For some reason, Jessica Ai fighting the Bullet Valentina Shevchenko for the 125 belt. Tony Ferguson and Don Cerrone. Jimmy Rivera against Peter Yan. And Taito Ibasa with the fucking, what do you call them, shoeies?
Listen.
Yeah.
Piss on all that bullshit. Is this the first fight ever where the third fight down is by far the best fight on the card?
Damn.
I don't know about first time ever, but
can you think of another fight card where the third fight on the card was like this much better than the other 2 fights? I don't give 2 wet fart. Well, okay, listen, I give a little bit of 1 wet fart about the fucking Marlon Moraes and Henry Cejudo. That's a little bit, but the other one, I mean, listen,
all right.
My way, it's enough with it.
Let's do it this way. Fred, is that a pay full price or is that a streamer?
Oh, I'm streaming that motherfucker for sure.
Oh, that is a streamer.
No, that's what I was about to say. Eddie, I can tell you right now, 15 minutes before 10 o'clock, you will get a DM from me on Twitter requesting a stream like this. Man, I don't give a fuck. Incriminate whatever you want to, Jack. Like that one ain't getting paid for. I just soon wouldn't watch it. I'll watch the motherfucking replays on Twitter before I pay you $70 for that. No way, Jack.
And screw you, Brendan Schaub, for getting those websites brought down. Yeah,
what
idiot.
a dick. What a dick. Anyway, all right. Other names on that card in the prelims: Tatiana Suarez taking Alina Ansaroff. Aljamain Sterling somehow still on the fucking prelims. Didn't know he's fucking doing really well against Pedro Munoz. Carolina Kovacevic against Alexa Grasso. Ricardo Lamas against Calvin Kattar.
Whoa! You're just gonna gloss over Grasso like that?
I am.
Wow.
I am. Wow. Hey, look, man. Look, hey, bro. Listen here. Cortez. Look up this young lady named Cortez. She's not even. I think she's an Invicta. I can't remember, but she is fun. Anyway, I'm just fun.
How dare you, Eddie? How dare you?
I've moved on. All right. Alexa Grasso did not respond to any of my courteous advances or whatever you want to call it.
All right. Let me move on.
Gentlemen.
Eddie, you better hope to God your woman don't ever discover YouTube and find this podcast. Your ass will be out in the cold.
No,
hey, Fred.
You're like, yeah, that hoe. I don't fuck with Alexa no more. She wasn't returning on my tweets or no bullshit like that. Fuck her.
She knows I'm fucking around.
How's your Twitter conversations with Rachel Ostovich?
She's not responding no more neither. She's busy these days. So I'll give it to her. Listen. To be fair, she's got bigger fish to fry than worrying about Daddy Fred worrying about her butt. You know what I mean? I did tag her though. Somebody said there was a tweet. Somebody said something like, "What is your favorite thing about MMA?" And I said, "Rachel's ass." So
yeah,
I mean,
she's all about that attention now. We see all
listen.
shit. Hey.
She can tweet me a fucking booty pic and she'll get all the attention she wants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be a win right there. I mean, shit. Ask her, what's your fucking face? Iggy Azalea, all pissed off right now, but she got all the attention. And she's mad, but she's mad.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That seems more like, hey, I leaked these photos so I could get some attention. Because I was like, who's Iggy Azalea? And I was like, oh yeah. She had a career.
Hey, you guys don't know who Iggy Azalea is? Just go to YouTube and type Iggy Azalea freestyle on Sway. And just kick back and enjoy.
Okay? Why would you subject people to that? That's terrible.
Because it's hilarious. Anyway, all right. Let's take a check of the headlines here. Jermaine Durandamy against Aspen Ladd announced for UFC Sacramento main event. There goes Uriah's fight. I'm kind of surprised. He'll probably be coming. UFC releases promo for return of Nate Diaz. I saw that shit. Let's see. What else we got?
Chris Cyborg is in final talks with getting that fight with that one girl that just fought and called her out. She was the former Invicta champion. She just beat Megan Anderson. God, what's her name?
Exactly. Okay. All right. Moving on.
Wow, that's
right. No, dude. There's no. That 145 division is fucked. All right. And unfortunately for Cyborg, she lost. So. And then Michelle Watterson was on the Joe Rogan Experience. And it was a fucking pretty solid episode. If you're a Watterson fan, I highly recommend it. All right. I got nothing else, man. You guys want to bring up anything else?
Nope. I think we covered it, Jack.
I only have one question, Fred. When is the podcast coming back, please?
Listen,
my addiction is in full blast here. I'm going through withdrawals.
We're working on a lot of shit, man. We're like I said, when we come back, we're going to come back with a YouTube channel and video and shit. So we're working on a podcast studio right now, but it'll be soon, man. We are working on it. We're working on it. I got you.
There you go. All right.
Fred, he's like the worst drug dealer ever. He like gave me like the good shit, and now like he's like, well, I'm working on the formula here. I'm gonna get to you, and I'm over here like dying.
Listen, I'm like 90% of the drug dealers out there. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for brother out here. When you get some good shit, you don't get no more good shit. The motherfucking supply dries up, Jack. Motherfucker moved in with his wife and took our podcast studio with him, the cute cocksucker, for his happiness. Can you believe him?
Yeah, what are you gonna do, man? Shit. All right. YouTube comments. Raider says, hell yeah, I love morning fights. Me too. She says, what the fuck? How is Ferguson for Cerrone not co-main? Don't know. Shevchenko is shit, and they should have kept Pretty Boy and cut half the females in the UFC. Damn. And she also says Grasso is one of those that should have been cut for real. Damn.
Listen, she's trying to be speaking straight facts, Jack. Facts.
She goes, our women suck. Anderson, another one to cut. All right, look, man, just cut the whole 145. More cuts are coming, all right. And look, and don't talk to me about last year Durham. That dude was not fun to watch at all. So, all right, that's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow Kirby at Kirby _ MMA. You can follow Jesse at Sport 1983. I'm at Ela31. The show's at Keyboard MMA. Shout out to repthewarriors.com. Shout out to Spices Pro, spicespros.com. Shout out to what's that fella, the weatherman over with you in Dayton?
Jamie Simpson. Jamie Simpson.
YouTube that shit because it's fucking hilarious. All right, definitely do that shit. All right, shout out to Raider, Jeremiah from the Hardcore MMA show. Fucking definitely go follow him on YouTube. All right, I think he just did a show with John Fitch, I believe, or at least
John Hackleman.
John Hackleman, thank you.
John Hackleman.
Did Fitch not make it?
I don't think he did. I think they ended up doing a show later on, either that same day or the next day, with John Hackleman. He's had John Hackleman on a couple times, and that guy's awesome. So check his stuff out. And his Instagram page is awesome.
Yeah, Hackleman and Fitch, he's got it. Go get him. All right, MMA guys is here. Anyway, the fuck with us, we love you guys. All right, we're gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen.
And Mike at Combate Americas.
And Mike Afromowitz. Did I say it right?
Sure.
Afromowitz. You're a dick. All right. Anyway, from Combate Americas, thank you, sir, for coming on our show and continuing to support us. Appreciate it. Again, Combate Americas is Friday night from Peru. You guys want to watch stand-up fight? All right, the main event is stand-up fight. Get him. All right, Cortez and Joe Franco and Daniel fuck, I forgot his last name. All right, but you know what I'm talking about.
Zaluber.
There you go. So go check that out. All right. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. For myself, Fred, Jesse, all y'all in the tornado, crazy storm area, fucking, stay right, get right, and stay safe, fellas. All right. Guys have a good night and good night, Wilshire.